Hello everyone, we're back again. Told you we are going to do this every month, and we are. I enjoyed myself the last time, got a lot of good questions, and I'm expecting the same thing for those of you who haven't met me. I'm Tony Roberson, or as it is nowadays, I'm Avery Roberson's dad. So it's real proud of Avery. He's doing real well. I would like to ask each and every one of you to watch The Voice Monday night. That would be a really good time to watch it. But you know, I want to talk just for a few minutes before we get into the questions about a few things about the county. I grew up in Cliffside for the most part. Lived in other parts of the county, but Cliffside's my hometown. And if you ride down toward the lower end of the county, it's to me, it's almost unrecognizable. It just don't look like the same place. And I realize that part of it is that NAFTA took all the jobs out of the county, and you know, lots of good people had to move away. There was an aging population that has died out, but it's a whole lot more than that. I mean, it is a completely different culture down there now. It's one of just barely surviving. The neighborhoods are, the houses are falling in. Lots of drug activity. It's not been that many years ago that it was just a normal southern community, and now you can see the difference. Of course, like I said, NAFTA has made a difference in this whole county, but you can, if you moved away and went back, you can see the devastation that drugs has caused in that area, all over the county, but it's really bad in the lower end of the county. When I say the lower end, I'm talking about Caroline, Cliffside, Henrietta, parts of Ellenboro, even some of Sandy Mush. It's just not the same place that I raised my family in, and you know, I just have to believe there's more that we can do as a law enforcement agency. I'm not putting anyone down. I'm just saying that we're getting the kind of drugs in here that used to, even 15 years ago, you didn't hear of around here. 15, 20 years ago, it was rare to hear of heroin. If you did bust somebody with heroin, it was usually from another location than here. It just wasn't big. But now we have heroin and fentanyl, and of course the meth epidemic. It's just it's outrageous, and we need to focus on that problem. We need to focus a lot of attention on that problem, and that is what I want to do, but I'm not going to be able to do that if I don't get your votes. I certainly appreciate all the people who are telling me they're supporting me, and getting a lot of good feedback from people. But if it don't equate to a vote, it's no changes are going to be made that everyone that I talk to seem to be searching for. And you know, I mean, if you read the paper, or if you talk to anyone, I mean, it seems like there's an overdose every night. It almost seems like that to me, that you're hearing of an overdose just about every night. And you know, I mean, there's a difference in overdoses and suicides. These people are not intentionally killing themselves. of course, the lifestyle they've chosen and the drugs that they're taking definitely did do that. But we have got to do a better part, do our part in law enforcement to try and make it hard for people to get these drugs in our county, and hard to sell those drugs in our county. But beyond that, we need a big community movement to where people don't slip through the cracks as often. In other words, we can do our job as a law enforcement agency to make a difference in the drugs coming in here, people selling them, shutting drug houses down. We can do all that, but you still don't have a population of people who are hooked on these drugs that need help. And I'd like to partner with church groups or anyone who would be interested in starting a partnership with the sheriff's office for some of these people that desperately need help. I know there's a lot of places that are working now, and I hear of some good things of churches and other aspects of the community that are getting involved in that. They see the need in it, and but it's going to take. It's not a problem that any one agency can solve or one person can solve. It's going to take the whole community, and first, it's going to take votes. If you want change at the sheriff's office position, then that is directly on you. You're the only one that can send a sheriff, elect a sheriff, and the people that I talk to nowadays are concerned that everything is not being done that could possibly be done to curb this problem. But it's going to take a community effort in this election for us to be able to make any kind of progress in our community. And I feel certain that we can take our community back. We can take our county back. So I'm going to check and see if we've got any questions here pop up yet. Bear with me, I'm looking over this way to see what pops up. We're working on it. While we're waiting to pull the questions up, I want to tell you about my website. You can go and some people say, well, I don't have much to donate. Well, there's no small donations are a huge help in what we're trying to do here. And you can do it easily. You can go to Roberson for Sheriff, TonyRobersonForSheriff.com is the website, and it's pretty easy. You can go just click a little tab and donate $10, $20, $25, whatever you can afford to donate. But it would be a big help to us. Also, I think we've got a link for PayPal for people who would rather use that too. So, okay, I think we got this up and running now. So I'm going to look and see what it says. Thank the Lord for a man who sees things for what they are. You have mine and my family's support. Well, I appreciate that. I just want to do my part in bringing our county back to what it used to be. I mean, if you think about it right now, if we were to have a big industry wanting to come in here, it would be extremely hard to staff it with people who could pass a drug test. And it really is that serious. I'm not just saying that. I know that for a fact from businesses that hire people now. Their biggest complaint is we can't find anyone that will pass a drug test. And so, I mean, it just goes back to, well, we've all got to do our part, and as a law enforcement agency, it needs to be priority one. No bond for repeat offenders. Well, I have nothing to do to say about that. You know, you have a constitutional right to a bond, but it's other people that makes those determinations, not me. Delaney, yeah, I know you're my biggest fan. Thank you. We will have more deputies in bad areas, not patrolled as much. Will we have? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm hoping to do. I feel like that with the personnel that they have now, I believe there's things that could be done to utilize what personnel we have now even better in that area, to have more coverage on the road and be able to do a real submersion campaign in these high crime areas. But it takes manpower to do that. So yeah, some of what we got now is going to have to be moved around so that we are utilizing the personnel properly. And then, you know, certainly would like to go to the commissioners for some positions and see if there's grant money out there for some positions. But we definitely need more people. You know, spoke earlier about the lower end of the county. It's the highest call volume area of the county, and one man's trying to do that on every shift, and it's I mean, you're just running from call to call to call to call to call. You're not really being able to be proactive out here, and it's not the officer's fault. It's just that they're stretched too thin. I mean, you can't do anything when you're backed up on calls. There's really nothing proactive that you can do. So to solve that, you're going to have more people in these high crime areas so you can look at a real strong proactive approach to dealing with some of these drug problems. Thank you, Tricia. I appreciate that. But Gibbons, boy, you put a long one on here, didn't you? Could you start some type of second chance program where ones like myself can have a chance to redeem themselves, and instead of being looked at it from our troubled past, help get a job? You know, that's a really well thought out question, and I don't really know. I'm not really giving that much thought, to be honest with you. I think that would be a great idea. I think that and people like you that have had a past and have been on the wrong side of the law, but you're doing well, you would be the very person that could start something like that could start a group for people who's had a kind of a shady past or bad past, but they're trying to get their life straight and work and raise their family. Yeah, I would think that something like that would be great. You know, I think that certainly believe in second chances, and I don't think that one. You know, I don't believe your past can define you for the rest of your life unless you allow it to. For bad behavior to define the rest of your life, you would have to give it permission to do that. And you know, but that's a very good question. Something I might look into that. Thank you for that. Tricia Jackson, what else officers do? Yeah. Yes, I appreciate them all too. It's it is a tough job, especially with call volumes being what they are now, and the type of calls they have to go on. It really weighs you down. I know that most of the deputies in this county want to see a drastic reduction in the drug problem that we have, but it's almost impossible when you're having to deal with a very high volume of calls, and you have limited resources in areas that are are going to be high call volume there, and you have one person. Of course, you've got people that if you run into a bad situation, you've got people that will be there to help you. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about having enough personnel in these high crime areas to do a submersion campaign, and what all that means is swarming in and having a bunch of people working on the same problem relentlessly. You can't go in there and hit it one weekend and call it good for the next couple of months. You've got to keep on it and keep on it and keep on it, and it takes personnel to do that. Like I said, I believe we have enough to start off with to move around to where you can make a difference right off the bat, but certainly going to need, the county's going to need to look at some new positions, and like I said, be very interested in looking at grant money that would bring us new positions. But it's going to take some more positions and moving people around from what they're doing now that's not all that productive to wage a campaign like that. I mean, the canines are good at detecting drugs. I mean, they detect drugs when we have no idea they're there. So I'm very pro canine on the force. It's I really don't know how many canines we have in the county right now. I'm not real sure, so I'm not going to speak to that. But I would like to have a canine available for every shift. But mostly, the night shifts is where you're going to run in at. But I've discussed this with other people. I definitely want a canine to be available for every shift. I think it makes a huge difference in tracking down these drugs. Karen, got your bracelet. I won't take it off until you're sheriff. Well, got mine on too. I don't know who gave you the bracelet. I was going to bring you some down there, but I'm glad you got it. In Henrietta, after the sun goes down, the streets are filled with people walking. Most of these people are walking. Most of these people walking are moving drugs, trespassing, stealing. Is there a way to enforce a curfew? No, I mean, what I want to do is to have a law enforcement presence down there, a presence down there that would eliminate that. That would be pretty easy. Stop and talk to people, find out what they're up to. If you see somebody walking after 1 o'clock in the morning, chances are you probably need to talk to them. Either they're having car trouble or they're up to no good, has been my experience of that. But that's, again, I go back to you have one officer down there in that area, and if he's busy answering calls, he can't, he can't stop and talk to everybody. We need more officers down in that area to be able to take care of that problem. Brother, can you really make a neighborhood crime watch work? People are tired of reporting criminal activity, nothing gets done, maybe start a Make Rutherford Great Again campaign. People need to know who to trust and report. It's exactly what I'm trying to do. I definitely realize the importance of community involvement. That's why I'm doing these. I mean, I'm not sheriff. I can't really affect any change right now, but I am communicating with people. And it's something that I intend to do from this day forward. I'm going to do these sessions once a month. When I get in office, I plan on keeping on doing these once a month, just so people can be able to ask me questions in this forum. But I also I want to be able to take sectors of the county and at a community center or wherever we can get it, and have a monthly meeting with the citizens in that sector of the county, where they can come in and ask me questions and give me information. We get the best information from you guys. You guys are there every day. You're seeing it. You're seeing stuff that we can't be there all the time. So your information is crucial to us, and us collecting that information is crucial to the agency. And the only way that I can see to do that is through a community watch program that would be set up to where we'd have regular meetings in each sector a month, and just have open the lines of communications with the community. That's going to be a very big part of what I'm planning on doing. And I thank you for that question. What do you think about having inmates clean up? I didn't know they had stopped cleaning up trash in the county. I need to check in on that and see why that's. Certainly, I think that if they're not, for whatever reason, picking it up, I'm for it. If unless there's been policy made through the state or whatever that prevents it, I think that people that get community service, instead of standing around somewhere doing nothing, I think they should be picking trash up, helping clean our communities up. We could all do that. We could all do that. I mean, if everybody in their communities would come together. I was talking about a community watch program. We could organize a community a day for a community to get together and go pick up trash. We don't have to sit and wait on people to do that, but certainly people that are doing community service, I think that they should. And if inmates are not doing it now, I'd like to find out why. Would you be willing to put a stop drug activity in our neighborhoods? Example, I personally can tell you of people coming up and down the road, not knowing what they're doing, and have reported it in the past, and it seems not much takes place because I still see the same cars every day and every night. What will you do? Well, I'll say this again. It's going to take a campaign or an all-out war against it, if you will. I want to create a department where we can be proactive when you call and say, I've seen this, I've seen that, and we can go to that and look at it and start investigating exactly what you're talking about. We're going to have to get to a point to where we've really made a big difference in the drugs coming in the county and it being sold, shutting these drug houses down, and then you would have more time. It would open up more time for more proactive law enforcement. And what I'd said earlier, I don't know whether you just came on here or what. I intend to move some personnel around that we already have, try to use them in what I feel like would be a more proper way to deal with the drug epidemic that we've got going on in the county. I want to do a submersion campaign where it's a relentless pressure in these high crime areas where we have a bunch of officers working the same area to try to, shut down these drug houses, to try to, and while you're doing that, you're going to get intel about who's bringing it in, and you can deal with that end of it too. But it's going to take us being relentless on these drugs so we can go to what you're talking about, a more proactive law enforcement approach, which is the most effective approach. But the way it is now, you've got people that are just slammed answering calls, and there's no proactivity to what they're doing whatsoever. It's just it is just they're reacting to the calls that they get. So the key to it is getting from that reactive way of doing business to a proactive way of doing business. Jamie Dunn, it's important to you to have real-time questions and answer sessions versus debate. Where you have to, yeah, I think it is. I mean, it's off the cuff. I mean, I don't pull any questions here. I try to answer everything that people send me. Debate setting is more formal, more controlled, I think. At some point, I would like to challenge Chris Francis to a debate in this forum. Let the people ask both of us questions. As you can see, I'm answering to the best of my ability questions that people are putting on here. I would love to be able to include the community in a debate in a forum just like this. I hope you do something about the drug situation. Nothing has been done before. Well, that is my goal. That is my biggest goal. And it's not that the officers don't want to do anything. It just they're in a position right now to where they have to answer calls. And it's going to take, and I would challenge anybody that said different, it's going to take a proactive approach to be able to do anything with this. You can't answer calls, and be able to throw anything at this problem at all. And that's what's, in my opinion, that's what's going on now. How you feel about having federal concealed law instead of each state having different ones and not our, no, I'm fine with the states. I like states to have their rights. It's simply because I don't want an overreach from the U.S. government telling the state what we can and can't do. So me personally, I'm big on state rights. Is it possible for homeowners to lose missing their home if they identify as drug houses, especially the ones? Well, yeah, if they're maintaining a dwelling place, the tax man will take a very serious look at that. Okay, I'm going to go back to and remind you of my website. It's www.tonyrobersonforsheriff.com. Pretty easy to remember. You can go there, and there's a place there that you can donate. You can either do it. There's a little button you mash, and it pops up how much you want to. I think it starts at $10, and believe it or not, $10 helps out a lot. But there's also a PayPal section if you would rather go through that process. Either one is fine and would be greatly appreciated. Okay, this is kind of what my bumper sticker looks like, and this is also going to be, I'm looking at getting some magnets made, car magnets made, and this area you see around me here, everywhere, is what it'll look like. So be watching on the website or watching the Facebook page, and I'll be updating you and letting you know when we have those in. If it's okay for, I'm going to take about a 5-minute break and give more time for people to get in here, and I will be right back with you here shortly. Okay, we're back. Getting a few more questions in. I would like to apologize because I let this sneak up on me and I didn't do the advertising that I intended to do before this date. And so we're not getting the amount of people on here that we did the last time. But that's my fault. We won't make that mistake again. I still intend to do these every month, and we will be back here April doing another one. But I will definitely do a better job advertising it and letting people know that it's coming. Okay. Is it probable or possible to reinstate the satellite offices throughout the county like Sheriff Dan Good had? Yeah, it's definitely possible. And in some of these high crime areas, I would love to have a place like that where they can stop by and get paperwork or whatever, do paperwork there, and not have to come all the way back up to the sheriff's office to do that. Don't want to create a lounge. I want the men to be out working, but yeah, there's benefits to that. I would definitely wouldn't mind looking into that. Okay, I'm going to mention again that the website has got a lot of good information on it, a lot of good questions has been asked on there. And it is TonyRobersonForSheriff.com, TonyRobersonForSheriff.com, and I would ask you, you know, if you can spare a small donation, that's the place to do it, and we'll put it to good use, getting our word out. I'm trying to be faithful in doing that, trying to make myself accessible. I can't expect you guys to believe that I'm going to be accessible and transparent if I'm not doing that right now while I'm running for sheriff. I see the importance of that. I see the importance of involving myself in the community. I see the importance of having community meetings, getting information from you guys that will aid us in doing a better job. And I hope that that these sessions right here will give you an idea of what I have in mind once I get in there. I want you to be able to have input in your own community. I think it's important. But we may, okay, we got one from Jamie here. Good to see some current deputies watching. Yeah, we noticed the last time that we had some fake accounts on here, and that's fine. You guys can, you can use your real name and come on here and ask me questions if you want to. I don't care. I'm not. This is not a secret meeting. This is a public meeting. I'm talking to all the public, and that includes you. So if you'd like, you could just get on here with your regular Facebook page, and it'd be fine with me. But yeah, I'm glad people's taking interest or wanting to hear what we have to say. And you know, I mean, I feel like I want to say something here. I feel like there's a lot of good deputies in this county. I have to answer questions. People bring questions of corruption up to me a great deal, but I would like to say that I do feel like that there are some good deputies, great deputies in this county. And let me talk to you just a minute about what kind of leader I will be to you as deputies. We have to make decisions, crucial decisions, right then and there. Sometimes we have to make decisions based on just the information that we have right then, what we're seeing then, what's going on right then. We don't have the luxury of seeing the entire whole picture at that particular time, but a decision has to be made. That's what we get paid for. If you're able to articulate to me why you made the decision that you made based on the information you had at that time, I don't care what comes later, I'll back you, because I've been there and I've had to make those decisions, and I know how you're not always blessed with all the information when you do make a decision out here on the road. But one has to be made anyway, and there's nobody that will have your back or stand up for you more than I will. If you got people in the county that are saying, if they're saying that you're a corrupt officer, for an example, and I know that what they're saying is not true, I'm going to stand up and fight for you with everything I have in me. You can believe that. But let's see if we got anything else over here. Are you concerned about recent deaths in jail? I'm sure circumstances surrounding the deaths. These vital signs. Well, I think that the officers do their best to make sure, and the jail staff does too, to see to the health of every individual that's in there, to make sure that they're not putting someone in there that maybe possibly needs to go to the emergency room, that type of thing. Unfortunately, with the amount of drugs that we have in this county, bad things can happen. I don't know that I would lay the blame at anyone's feet for that, other than just the drug epidemic that we're fighting. I think that is one of the results of it. But no, I think that the officers and the jail staff probably do their very best to make sure that stuff like that don't happen. They don't want that to happen. Angela Jackson, I will vote for you. We need to get rid of all the corruption in Rutherford County. I can promise you, if there's corruption, they won't work for me. I can also promise you that corruption will be looked into, and if there is no corruption there, I'll be the first one to tell you if a certain individual's been accused of a corrupt act, and I get in there and I look at it and it's not as it seemed, or that's not true, then I will stand up for that individual and tell you that it's not true. But on the same token, if I get in there, then I find out that it is true, you won't be working for me. You won't be working for this county. And you should make every officer out there, every good officer out there, feel good to hear that. I'm not coming in there with a hatchet. I want to come in there and, as far as the allegations, and that's what I always call allegations of corruption, because I have no firsthand knowledge of any corruption at the sheriff's office. I don't. But I do think if there's allegations made, that it has to be looked into, and if you're innocent of the allegations, you should want it to be looked into more than anyone. And like I say, if it's looked into and it's untrue, I'll stand up for you and tell everybody and go to bat for you. If it's true, don't need you. Oh, that's my oldest daughter. So proud of you, Daddy. It's kind of, well, you may be just a little bit biased. But thank you, Heather. I love you. Angel Maxwell, Tony, you'll make a fantastic sheriff. Well, Angel, get everybody that you know and encourage them to ask me questions. I'll list my phone number. I did the last time. Do we have that? Listen, I'm not afraid to answer any question that anybody has. You can call me. I'll tell you what my number is. It's 828-429-3000. It's pretty easy to remember, 429-3000. It might be best to text me. I might be able to get back to you quicker that way. But if you want to call and you want to talk to me, I'd be happy to do that too. If I'm busy, it goes to voicemail, you can rest assured I'll be checking that, and if you leave me a phone number, I will call you back. I want to talk to people, and I want people to hear what I want to do. It's important for me to tell as many people as I possibly can, and all you people that are supporting me are doing a real good job of that. And you know, it seems like every day the website grows, the Facebook page grows, and people are asking really good questions. And but go out and tell people about me and tell them what I stand for. If you believe in me and you want to vote for me, tell your friends around you about me, and then encourage them to ask me questions on their own, and I'll be happy to answer them. Janelle, if you got this, put God first. Well, you know, you're exactly right. God has got to be first in an endeavor like this. You know, I believe, I have a strong belief system. I believe in prayer, which is something that our county desperately needs right now. Let's face it, I mean, I think all of us would agree that we're living in pretty evil times. And of course, the Bible tells us about that in the last days, and I certainly think that that's probably the part we're in right now. But I think that in bad times like this, it calls for good men to stand up and do good things. And I intend to do that. But I intend to do that through lots of prayer. And, you know, planning everything that we do through prayer is important to me. I want to make a difference. I don't want to be sheriff just to have that title. Titles don't mean nothing to me. I feel the need to go out here and use what experience that I have to make a difference in the county that I grew up in and the county that I love and the people that I love in it. Angela Jackson says, yes, a lot of great ones and a lot of bad ones also. Will it be my job to weed those out, right? I mean, I'm not going to have bad officers working for me. It's going to go against what I'm trying to accomplish. Wouldn't be able to accomplish anything that way. So if there is bad officers, as you stated, they simply will not be working with me. I couldn't accomplish what I'm wanting to accomplish if that were to be the case. So it would be taken care of. I can promise you that. Could you bring, hey Talia, could you bring back kids and cops and some COVID? Yeah, there's a lot of things changed, you know, because of COVID and not being able to be in close proximity of one another. And well, I mean, you know, it's changed our whole lives. Everybody's been affected by that. But yeah, I always thought that was a great program. I like interacting with kids myself, and I did when I was an officer. I loved having good interaction with them, and definitely would love to implement that back whenever it's safe to do so, as far as COVID restrictions and things of that nature. Joining late, and as a very few you remember Rutherford County, what's the top 5 topics that you will address as sheriff and what you plan to, you said, well, the number one topic we've talked about a great deal, and I understand you came in here late, and we're going to have to make a big effort on the epidemic of drugs that we have in this county, the epidemic of overdoses. We, as a law enforcement agency, are going to have to focus a lot of attention to that. Number 2, accountability for officers. We're held to a higher standard, and I expect that standard to be met. So we should be accountable to one another for our actions as law enforcement officers. And accessibility. I want to be a sheriff that welcomes people to come in and talk to me. I really, even from being a deputy, I really don't see how you can effectively do the job in law enforcement if you're not talking to people. When I was in law enforcement, I mean, it was important to me to ride around, and if I see somebody sitting out on their porch, to pull in and talk to them, just to, and you wouldn't believe the information that you could get from people that would help you do your job better. I think communications with the entire county is very important, and I want to be as accessible as I possibly can to the citizens of this county, that if I'm lucky enough that you guys put me in there, I will honor exactly what I'm saying. I will be accessible. I will be in your community. You don't necessarily have to come to me. I'll be there. I'll be in your community. I'll be doing these things that we're doing right now. Number, 3 or 4, I would like to have more training available to the officers. There's a lot of really good training that the officers need, but not only need, they want it. I understand right now that some of that training's been put on the back burner for officers, and I'm a big believer in that. I believe the more training you get, the better officer you are. I took every opportunity I could to get training when I was in law enforcement, and I think it was very very important to me. There's specialized trainings and just general trainings offered all the time, and definitely would want my officers to take advantage of that and give them the opportunity, I would say, to take advantage of the training. And you know, there's one training in particular, I think that in the past it's been used as a punitive thing, but I understand that we've had a lot of wrecked patrol cars in the county, and that's expensive. I mean, that costs taxpayers a lot of money. But there's a highway patrol driving school that's excellent, defensive driving school. I enjoyed taking it myself and learned a lot from it. I would like for it to be a requirement that all my officers go through that at some point. I think it will go a long way in protecting our officers and our equipment. I hope that's 5, I think it is. What's your stand on the word of faith? As far as now corruption in this county, they seem to get away with anything. Listen, here's the way I'll address that, and I'm not privy to any information, any case files, or I've not looked at any case files against anybody, so I can't really tell you what I'm going to do on a hypothetical basis on something like that. It would be wrong for me to do so. I will tell you this, that any allegation that comes to the sheriff's office deserves a fair and impartial investigation. Simple as that. Every one of them deserves a fair and impartial investigation. If that investigation turns out that there's been laws broken, then that needs to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, regardless of who it is, what standing you have in the community, who you are, who you know. It should be done on a fact-based investigation. And like I said, if it uncovers wrongdoings that it needs to be dealt with, then it will be. I encourage any and everyone to vote for you. I know what kind of man you are. Really kind of needs a man like you. Vote Tony Roberson. Thank you, Angel. I appreciate that. Certainly not a perfect man. I have faults, but I do, honestly, in my heart, have the best interests of this county tucked away in there, and I really want to. I really want to make a difference. I truly desire to make a difference in this county. I want my grandkids to be able to grow up in this fine county that I've grown up in, but there's some things that we need to take care of. And, you know, the drugs in this county is like I never thought I would ever see it. I know that I've heard that some people in positions of power in this county has made the statement, we don't have a drug problem in this county. Listen, I don't know why in the world someone would make a statement like that and looking at what everybody else is looking and be able to keep a straight face. That's not true, folks. We have an epidemic of drugs in this county, which is ruining sectors of this county. And it's ruining our young people. It's affecting our schools. It's affecting every aspect of our lives in this county. And as a law enforcement agency, it is my job to do all I can to rid the county of this scourge. And that's what I intend to do. Morgan Connery, I'm just thankful that a man of God, all the rest will be all right. Yeah, I agree with you. You know, if you put God first, you can't go wrong. Sometimes I think that we get in a hurry and we leave him out. And when we do that, that's when the problems start. If you start off seeking him, I know he'll point you in the right direction. Deborah Early, well, we're all behind you, Tony. We definitely need to change in the county if we want to salvage that good. Get rid of dealers, have mercy on poor addicts, caught in the trap, must have a walking tall attitude. Yeah, I mean, you know, you've got to stand for something, and you've got to hold fast to that. You've got to be steadfast in what you're trying to accomplish, and be relentless, and don't let up. And yeah, of course, have compassion for these poor people that are hooked on this stuff. I mean, it's, you know, it's almost well, it ain't almost. It is a demonic thing. It is a demonic tool, and it's being used very well in this county right now. Praying you get elected, you will make a great one, Lisa Blasco. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate that. Well, listen. Well, okay, we got one. Trent Mask. I've known you for a very long time, and when I was young, you treated me like I was your son. You have my vote, bud. Vote Tony Roberson. Thank you. Thank you a lot, Trent. You're a good man. Well, we're not getting the level of questions that we were getting in the last time. I'm not seeing any new ones pop up. So this may be, okay, well, I think we might have one here. Well, Joanne Goforth says, if you're elected, will you clean house? Well, you know, it's like I said a while ago, if there's people that are doing things they're not supposed to be doing, they won't be working for me. I find it hard to believe that every deputy in the county is corrupt. In fact, I don't believe that. But it will be my job as sheriff to determine that, and if there's any people that are not conducting themselves in a professional manner or are doing corrupt things, they won't be working for me. That's all I can tell you. Okay, well listen, it's not been as long a session as the last time was. I would like for it to go longer. I will do my part this time in advertising it and giving people a notice that it's coming up, and so that if people knows it, they'll get on here and ask questions. And I encourage you, when you see me advertise the date for next month, to go ahead and start telling your friends about it. And in the meantime, I'm a phone call away if you need to ask me any questions, need me to clarify anything that I may have said tonight that didn't completely address your question. You can give me a call or text me at 828-429-3000. That includes the officers that's on here looking, watching right now. Feel free to call me. I have nothing to hide. I'll answer your questions. It'll be between me and you and no one else. So feel free, if you have any questions, give me a call. I thank you for participating, and I look forward to doing this again next month.